Welcome, Power of Slow Readers. Today we're talking with Kendra Delano, who is a first grade teacher who has lived and worked all over the world, including the Bahamas, Spain, Singapore, the US, the Canary Islands, and Mexico, where she is right now. She is the founder of SameDayDifferentChoices.com. And I'm so excited to talk with you today, Kendra, because what you teach children is the power of choice.
Thank you so much. I'm glad we can share time together. I've been following you on YouTube and enjoying your articles on Psychology Today.
Thank you so much. Well, Kendra, I'd love to know about same day different choices. What got you started on this?
Sure. Actually, what got me started, I can't take credit for the format of the book, which is very different. Um, I dreamed it. And I think whether it came from my subconscious or a higher power or a muse or angels, I don't know. But for years, probably 2 decades, I've really had this idea of choice as being so important in life. I had the opportunity about 20 years ago to stand up and sing a solo on the Oprah show, and I completely chickened out. And ever since then, I've kicked myself and wondered how my life would be different had I given myself some credit and gone ahead and lived in love instead of fear. And I think also when you're a classroom teacher or a counselor or a social worker and you're dealing with children, you want them to be happy, independent of their life situations. Obviously, there's a lot of adversity in every child's life, and especially in the lives of some. So that all combined, and I woke up one morning, it was a weekend morning, with the perfect vision of creating a book that started in the middle with an event. And depending on how the main character reacted or responded to that event, her life would move in a negative or a positive direction. And then you just,
So Kendra, it sounds like it's sliding doors for children.
Yes, in fact, after I wrote the book and was sharing the idea with some different people, they said, "Oh, have you seen Sliding Doors?" And I still haven't seen the movie, but I've watched a whole bunch of clips on YouTube.
Oh, Kendra, Sliding Doors is a fabulous movie that talks about choice as it's expressed in an adult life. And it's literally what happens if you go to the subway. Like she made the train. Her life went in a completely different direction than if she didn't make the train. And the truth was that the truth came out either way, but the sliding doors was this really great analogy of choice. Like, are we going to jump through the doors before they slam or not? Are you going to be on Oprah or not? It's like really a lot of it has to do with the law of attraction, which you also teach children. So, Same Day Different Choices is actually a book that begins in the middle, and then children get to make choices and they learn the impact of each choice. Is that correct?
Yes, we're actually learning from the choices that this main character makes. I have the book here if you want me to just give you an idea. This book opens in the middle, you know,
Okay.
and this little girl is disappointed because her dad is canceled on an outing. And what I do to show the children how choices impact her day is show them the negative side first, how she reacts, um, inappropriately responding with anger that harms something.
So the book itself, because my readers can't actually see this, this is a podcast. What I'm looking at right now is pictures of a child, and she's making choices that are negative, and she's reacting badly. And so you flip from right to left.
Yes, and you're
Okay.
going backwards, the exact opposite way that you would want to read a book. And there are insights down at the bottom of the page. The book is written so that really, at a first grade level, first graders can read this book no problem, the words at the top. And then the insights at the bottoms of the pages are really more for the adult readers, the teachers, the counselors, the parents who want to bring up maybe an uncomfortable topic. And this book can help initiate that conversation. And what a lot of parents are saying is that there are insights in this book that they didn't know that are helping them. Like anger is the second reaction. The first one is to be sad or embarrassed.
So I'm wondering, Kendra, because I have children that are not first graders, and I'm sure a lot of listeners here have children that are older as well. Do you have plans to make a book that is also for older children, maybe even teens?
We sure do have plans. Our next series is for 9 to 12-year-olds. That's the target audience. And it's going to be an ebook with a serious twist. I can't tell you exactly what the concept is yet, but we have that. We have an in-school musical that's going to be performed, from school to school. We have an iPhone app on the vision board. We have an interactive children's television program, software for adults. Um, I think we're just so excited to get this message out to as many people as possible in as many different ways.
Imagine a world in which children realize that the power of choice, and when they make good choices, they actually can impact not just themselves, but the environment and everyone around them. I think in this day and age, in particular, where everyone has their iPhone and they're all sort of in their little individual worlds, that they are hyper connected on some level, but on other levels they're not connected with other people. So to have this underlying idea of choice and how it impacts other people as well, I think is a very important life skill that there are some adults I know that could also benefit from knowing.
I absolutely agree, and that's of course our covert goal with this message is if you learn more when you're teaching. So if the children are trying to teach the children these concepts and these ideas, they will absorb the ideas themselves, and they'll learn to use their words carefully, or they'll learn to be grateful when adversity comes up, so that they have a chance to ask, okay, what's the gift in this? And to turn a situation around, so that instead of staying in these negative emotions, they can move up the emotional ladder to feel better and to create more happiness in their lives.
That's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to the 9 to 12-year-old because I have a 9-year-old and a 12-year-old, so I'm on both spectrums of that developmental stage. And I think it would be a perfect gift, birthday gift, Christmas gift, whichever, to give to my children and to give to myself and to also give to the world, because I think that choice is something that a lot of people, especially as we get older, we don't feel that we have a choice. We often fall into a victim mentality, like it's the other person. And you know the saying, if you're pointing at someone, guess what? There are three fingers pointing back at you.
So,
And I think that if we can reinforce this message with our children, and the parents that are reinforcing it maybe will also think about some of the choices that they've made too. It is a covert message, isn't it? Because when you get to the parent level, then you know you've reached it. Because kids are pretty open to things. I think it tends to be the parents that need that coaching.
absolutely. Can I hire you? You have all of our ideas, and obviously you express them so well.
Well, thank you very much. Is there another way? I mean, you have your website, samedaydifferentchoices.com. Is that the main website? So if people wanted to learn more about your book for first graders, but also for other age groups, would that be the website to go to?
Yes, yes, that is the website at this point. We'll have distribution through Amazon fairly shortly, but right now going to the website and going ahead and placing an order is the way to go.
And since you're internationally connected, if someone is outside of the United States listening to this, or North America even, are they able to purchase it?
Absolutely. PayPal is the mode that we're using for payment.
Okay. And is the book also in other languages besides English?
It's been translated to Spanish, and we have someone interested in translating it to German.
Oh,
And
very good. Oh, good. I
so
live in Germany.
what we would like is to get a large order first and say, okay, there's a market for this in Germany. Let's go ahead and publish it.
Yeah, I find the German school system is very interesting. They have a three-tier system, which is very different than the United States, which has everybody in one school. They have a three-tier system. So beyond primary school, you've got your gymnasium, which is actually the college prep type AP classes as of the fifth grade. And then they have the Realschule, which is the trade school, where children who maybe aren't as academically inclined tend to go. They're the ones that are the artisans, the ones that learn a trade of some kind. And then they have the Hauptschule, which is for children that are perhaps not as up to speed and school isn't really their thing, and so they go until about the ninth grade. So it's kind of an interesting thing. And I was wondering, all of the schools, especially on the primary level, would benefit from this book, definitely.
Thank you.
So, is there anything else you'd like to tell us? Maybe some tips that we could teach our children before we wrap up our call? Some takeaways that people can do before they get their book while they're waiting for it in the mail.
I think that children just need to be empowered. I think if you can remind a child that every thought, every choice can be loving or not. So many children have language that they use, like saying to a little brother or sister, "Oh, you're such a pain in the neck." What a negative thing to say. Where they could say, they could choose different words. When people come at them, maybe with anger, children think that everything is their fault. So if they can realize, okay, this is mom and she's angry right now, and that's where she is, it doesn't necessarily have to ruin my day. And just to be able to realize that anger is the second feeling. So really mom is feeling exhausted or disrespected, or if you left a mess, if a child can say, you know what, you're right, I made a mistake and I left a mess, and I know that's frustrating for you, mom. I'm going to clean that up right now, and I'm going to do my best to um, to do to help you out in the future. They're just
I, I tend I tend to think that that is something that comes with age. That to expect a 6-year-old, for example, to say that is a little bit asking a little bit much. The sense of empathy is certainly there, but I think to say, "Oh, mom, you know what? Wow, I'm sorry. You've had a really hard. It's tax time. I'm so sorry. I mean, I think that's perhaps a little bit challenging. I've noticed with my almost 12-year-old that she's starting to get that, but it's taken that long for her to really get into that stage, so
yeah.
so there are other ways, and I think that the way we respond is definitely important. Parents in particular, the way they role model. So when we are dealing with something, when we make a mistake, not to make a big deal out of it, and then they'll see that mistakes happen and that it's okay.
And I do love it. You're absolutely right that this all comes in stages. One bit of effective communication that I do teach first graders, and every single student in all of my classes could use iMessages by December of first grade.
Great.
When mom comes at them angry, they can say, "Mom, when you're yelling at me, I feel scared. I I would like for you to speak to me in your regular voice." They can
Wow.
do.
That is a huge conversation stopper. I mean, meaning that like the negative conversation that parents are having as they're yelling and getting angry because they have this conversation in their heads going on. So what a beautiful thing! Because I know that if my 6-year old had said something like that to me, I would have been like, oh, so humbled. That's an
Yes.
incredibly powerful tool. So that's great to know. That's wonderful. Well, Kendra, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. The
Oh,
power of choice is, and as you know, the power of slow was born in an ice cream parlor when my daughter was overwhelmed by the choices of flavors. So thank you so much for teaching our children choice and the power of it.
thank you, Christine. It was a pleasure.